Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at this week's Sunday preview. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Sunday preview. A Primarch, a Rebel, and a Commando walk into a Warhammer store. The new edition of Warhammer 40,000 is now in full swing, and we've got some long-awaited miniatures coming next week to add some spicier armies, plus some returning Middle-earth miniatures and a Black Library books. Please note that these will be in a queue system in effect next week on the Games Workshop web store, though not on the ForgeWorld store. So interesting, they will have the queue system back for this release, so they must be expecting quite a bit of excitement or know that they have a limited quantity available. Alright, so first we see the Lion L. Jonson coming back, available for order, well, pre-order in this case, as an individual model, and this model is absolutely beautiful. He is the Primarch of the Dark Angels for Warhammer 40,000, and obviously beautiful. He's got some awesome options. I mean, this paint job is just absolutely amazing. The greens look awesome, but I do like the hooded head, and then we have like the regular head, and there's also the helmeted head as well. So some cool options, and his rules are absolutely phenomenal too in 40k. Very, very nice. After the biggest catnap in all of recorded history, the Primarch of the Dark Angels has awoken and finds the state of the galaxy wanting. The formidable warrior now stalks the Imperium's enemies across space, emerging from the shadows like a knight of legend. Armed with a blade, fealty, and the Emperor's shield, he effortlessly carves through inhuman horrors in his quest to bring light to the Imperium Nihilus. And we've got one more dose of green in Boss Snikrot, but this time he is an orc. So very, very cool. He is the sneaky boy of the orcs, the named character for the commandos, and really, really nice looking model. Absolutely love this. Super cool and awesome details. And again, we have like multiple different head options. Very, very nice looking model. And this was one I actually missed out on, so I would be looking forward to getting a hold of this as well. Subterfuge isn't the way most orcs do battle, but the commandos have elevated cunning beyond brute strength to terrifying effect, although they still use brute strength too. Boss Snikrot's obsession with the clandestine manner of warfare has turned him into a green specter. Few can hide from the piercing gaze of his night vision goggles, and most of his enemies don't realize they're being stalked until the daggers he calls Mork's teeth have found their mark. So very, very cool. Definitely looking forward to getting a hold of him. As you guys know, I have many armies in 40k and Sigmar, and always like to pick up the named characters and get them painted up and join the forces. Although they're not always the best in game terms, which is not necessarily the case here. It's just always nice to have those named characters, have them painted up and part of your collection. And anytime there was a model that was already cool in metal and then it's redone in plastic, or in the Lion's case, we didn't have a model at all, and now not only does he have a model but rules, that's pretty much an automatic addition to my collection. And next we have Commander Farsight. So just one more in the never-ending list of absolutely amazing models. Absolutely love this model. It blows the old version out of the park. I mean, just the details and everything. And then normally I'm not a huge fan of the like tactical rocks or like the textured bases. I usually do my own, but in this case, this one is pretty freaking awesome. That doesn't mean I won't do my own anyway, but I do really like this model and the textured base. And again, just the level of detail on this is just absolutely amazing. All the little details added in on the sword, the little bit of like scratches and stuff. The upgrades to the actual battle suit and armor, and like some of the little like hidden gems that are in here. Very, very cool. The rebellious Commander Oshava has returned in a custom Crimson XV-86 Supernova battlesuit to strike out against the enemies of the Tau Empire. Master of Monka, Farsight is an aggressive combatant who leads the separatist forces right into the heart of battle. So really cool. Absolutely love this. The lore behind Farsight is awesome too, and there's just enough kind of like question or like mystery that is very intriguing. If you have not looked into it before, definitely recommend it. And then next we've got a little something from Middle-earth Strategy Battle Game. 2 units of Iron Hill Dwarves are returning to the range for use in Iron Hills and Erebon reclaimed armies. So we see the Iron Hill Dwarf Warriors with the Spears Warband. And then we also have the Iron Hills Dwarf Warriors with the Maddox Warband. The Iron Hill Dwarves are doughty warriors with an unbending resolve, trained in the art of forming an impenetrable shield wall. The set of 14 resin miniatures includes a captain, handpicked for the role of Dane himself, and a banner bearer who raises his flag of the Iron Hands. So these are resin, so I'm assuming they're coming from ForgeWorld. And then next we have Honorbound Special Edition. So pretty cool cover on this one, a Severina Rain novel. So this is the limited edition. So it's going to have the sort of like faux leather and some other like cool kind of embroideries and stuff on here. The Severina Rain novel, Honorbound by Rachel Harrison, is receiving a special edition hardback next week. This luxurious edition is signed by the author, individually numbered and limited to 1,500 copies. Presented with a gorgeous leather effect cover with an intricate design on the front, the book also features a red ribbon bookmark and a short story trials. So pretty cool here. We do see that it's 1,500 copies. Fairly popular, I would say. She did get her own model and everything. So I'm not sure what route Games Workshop's going to take in the future, but I hope their response to all of this isn't just going to be to raise prices to combat scalpers. So they like close the gap between what the scalpers are buying them for and what they're able to sell them for. But if what we just saw last week with this new release is going to be the norm, that's exactly what Games Workshop is going to do. Rather than create more of these and potentially not have them sell out, they're just going to raise the prices on them until people stop buying them. So I'm not sure if it's actually a net good thing or a bad thing, but it definitely feels pretty dirty. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now back to the video. And next we see Cypher, Lord of the Fallen. So this one is coming to our regular book now. With the Lion returning to the galaxy, there's no better time to find out everything you need to know about the Fallen than now. Cypher, Lord of the Fallen by John French is a first-hand account of the breakout from an Imperial jail by the most unreliable of narrators, Cypher. Hunted by Adeptus Custodes and Imperial assassins, Cypher's goal is shrouded in mystery, but perhaps all will become clear in time. You'll be able to pre-order it in hardback, ebook, or audiobook format next week. So previously this was only available in the limited, and now it is coming to hardback and others. So very cool. And if you don't know the story of the Dark Angels and Cypher, there was basically like a betrayal back in the Horus Heresy, and a bunch of Dark Angels, who they refer to as the Fallen, fell to chaos, and Cypher was like one of the leaders of the Fallen. And now the narrative, without giving away any spoilers, is that the Lion has returned and he is going to forgive the sins of those who fell and reunite the Dark Angels back at their full strength, and they will no longer have like the dark secret that they have like shrouded everyone else from knowing about. And next we see Awakenings. Everyone believes that Inquisitor Astor Sabathiel died nearly 100 years ago, shot at point-blank range just before a warp storm consumed the Califrax cluster. Reawakened in a distant ecclesiarchy stronghold and in the debt of the Magos named Metic, Sabathiel is called upon by the Ordo Hereticus to embark on a mission to earn their trust back. And in doing so, it's thrust headlong into a conspiracy that threatens the Imperium itself. Discover the dark secret along with Sabathiel in Awakenings by George Mann, which will be available in paperback, ebook, and audiobook formats. So yeah, very cool. Definitely excited to see all of these models that were previously only available in box sets or limited coming back. These are going to be very popular. I'm glad to see that Games Workshop is putting the queue system in place. If you're not familiar with the queue, whatever time your pre-orders would normally go live on Saturday, the queue system will go live instead. You'll be randomly assigned a position somewhere in between a couple of minutes and a couple of hours. And then when your turn is up, you'll be able to access the store for about 10 minutes and you'll have the ability to complete your transactions. And in general, we have seen everything be limited to one per person, which has really helped out people from just buying everything out in mass. So super excited that Games Workshop is listening and putting the queue back in place for big releases. And overall, I think it's been relatively well received by the community. So I hope that they continue to listen to the community with rules, with how they're selling their models, you know, things like the queue system and everything. It's definitely a good sign to see that they are paying attention to our feedback, using that feedback and making constructive changes. And while I don't agree with all those changes, you know, it is good to see them trying to do something to combat the scalpers. There's definitely an argument to be made that Games Workshop is just putting extra money in their pocket by raising the prices. But also the real question is, was the product already undervalued if everyone's buying it up and reselling it for substantially higher value? I would have to argue that yes, the free market is saying that Games Workshop is underpricing those products for limited items. So the two options basically are for them to raise the price and close the gap for scalpers so that the regular people who want them can just get them directly and cut out the middleman, or for Games Workshop to create more of the product. And then that way there's more of the product to go around, so it doesn't create this artificial scarcity or actual scarcity, depending on what the product is. So there's lots of different ways they can handle it. We're seeing them sort of like take some measures. It's definitely unfortunate if it's going to overall raise the price of limited items going forward, because that really does kill collectors and just really put a bad taste in people's mouths. But the fact of the matter is, in the end, the most important thing for me is for people to be able to get the stuff they want, even the limited stuff, for, you know, what you would call a air quote reasonable price. So let me know what you think down below. Always like to hear your opinions. Appreciate all of the feedback, comments, all that good stuff. Special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. As always, check out the link in the description to save 15%. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm glad that all these special characters are returning. And I'm out of here.